Okay, so in the next video I'm going to show you guys what it takes to make a slow corner and a sharp corner. Something like that. Now let's turn the bike off for a second and do some talking before we show you actually what it looks like. What I'm doing in a slow corner, I usually do them to the left because that's my dominant side. I'm mostly my best corners are to the left. To the right I'm not that confident yet, especially for slow riding. So basically what you want to use, there's three main things that you want to take in order to make sure that you don't fall over when you lean in. That's your clutch, your throttle, and your rear brake. These all three kind of work in a combination to make sure that you have ample drive to keep the bike in the lean without dropping down, though not too much that it slides out or that it jumps up. So what you want to do is you want to keep your throttle just a tiny bit open. I'm using it somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM. And then with the clutch you actually regulate your speed. Pull the clutch in a little more, and this is like millimeters. Pull it in a little more to go slower, and let it out a few millimeters to gain a bit more speed. You want to do this around the friction zone, and you gotta get a feel for this. Now what you do when you start going too fast is apply the rear brake a little. What I do is I genuinely, most of the time, I keep my foot on the rear brake and give it a slight little bit of pressure, so my brake light on the back will most of the time be lit up, although I'm not really braking that hard. You don't want to be, because you don't want to snag it off all of a sudden and give it full clutch, zero throttle and full brake, because then you're just gonna stop the bike and it's gonna drop in. Then when you turn in, what you want to do, and this is only for slow riding, at high speeds it's completely different. Once you turn in, you lean in, the handlebars go to the left. Let's just say it's a left hand corner. You lean in, and instead of staying on top of the bike or leaning in like what you would do on a high speed or a more high speed corner, what you do is you lean out to counterbalance the bike. Now you only want to be doing this at slow speeds when the rotational force is not big enough to keep you upright. So what that does is you're actually balancing the bike with your upper body. Now don't overdo it in this, because you lose control in your left hand, which is your throttle. So your clutch. So what that looks like is the following. Right, I don't even get it to 2,000 RPM, but you shouldn't be afraid to make 2, 3, 4,000 RPM to keep the bike upright. Right, and gently turn it in. And I'm regulating my speed and my angle with the clutch and the rear brake. See? There we go. So that's a little bit of info on the short turns. Now, where you want to be looking at is not the bike, anything but the bike. When you're in the corner and you look at the bike, you lose a sense of angle and a sense of where am I on the course, especially when you're doing the stuff for the for your license, where you need to do the figure 8, and that's basically what this is about, the figure 8. That's I think one of the main concerns of most rookies trying to get a license. I know it was one of mine. Now I have to say, this sports bikes not the best bikes to test and to do this with. I would say either supermoto, anything that is off-road like a supermoto, any off-road so that has a really big angle on the bars, wide bars, high bars. Anything light, naked bikes are good. I did my test with a naked bike, Yamaha XJ6, yeah, just make sure that you're comfortable with the bike, that you're not afraid to rev it. You gotta know where your friction zone is, and you wanna keep a slight pressure on the rear brake. So now that is done, if you can do this, driving it slowly in a straight line is not that different. The only difference is actually that you're not making a turn, you're just going as slow as possible. And I'm not bragging, but I am pretty good at this. I think so myself. At the exam, I actually had about 3 feet to 4 feet left. On the it's 10 meters, and the moment your front wheel rolls in the 2 lines, it's a 10 meter long, 1 meter wide. And once your front wheel goes in the box, the timer starts, and you have to stay in the box for 12 seconds without putting a foot on the ground. And I was pretty good at it. I felt pretty good at it. So the technique that they told me to use was to look at a target in the distance, like let's say the big old tree over there, and then ride it up over there and do it like that. But what I did was I got really down low, so my elbows were about the height of the bars, so that my input on the bars, when you're up here, your bars rotate left to right. So what you're actually doing, instead of doing this, you're doing that. But doing that takes a lot of pressure on your shoulders and your upper arms. So if you drop your upper body down low, it becomes more of this instead of this, and that having that angle in your elbow makes it a lot easier. And then I looked at the front of the bike over the windscreen, and he told me it was not good, but it helped me, it felt better, so I was doing it like that. Now again, you want to regulate your speed with your clutch and your rear brake and keep your throttle at a constant RPM. So let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna do it coming towards the camera so you can see my my right foot on the brake. By the way, this is way too fast. We're talking about this fast. Get that upper body down so we can rotate the handlebars more quickly. And that's about how slow you want to be going. And that would have failed me because I put a foot down. So it is a pretty difficult experience. Let's see if I can get a reflection in one of these windows to see how slow this actually is. And this is driving really, really slow. So it's not that easy, but then again, you don't want to be riding a bike like this if you don't have it under control. And that was my front wheel sliding out. Wow. Shouldn't be overdoing it. Should not be overdoing it. As you can see, this one slipped through when I tried to wheelie, and then when I tried to stoppie it, The front wheel broke out to the side. So I guess I'm just gonna have a little fun right now without doing anything stupid. And I'll see you guys on a later episode.